Game developers are liars and thieves. Hello everyone and welcome to another devlog for my fantasy immersive sim game Tempered Flames. Last week I released the first playable demo build on itch.io and I'm pleased to say that we've already got a lot of great feedback. We're also making some great progress. As you can see from my planning board, I've narrowed down some concept sketches and began to draft the story outline. And I have to say I'm really happy with where it's going so far. As I say all the time, my main purpose in game development is to create meaningful stories. I know a lot of YouTuber game developers don't really talk about their stories too much, so stay tuned to the end of the video to hear more about that. But for now, I'll show you what I've been working on for the game. Alright, so I was looking at this prototype dungeon thing and I've been realizing that it doesn't really represent what the game will look like in the end. Sure, it'll have some dungeon crawly elements, but think of Dishonored, a big inspiration for this game, and how it has these big open levels. The game is largely going to take place in a city, or at least part of a city, and I'm not really the best 3D modeler, so this is where the stealing comes in. So I kind of exaggerated the intro there, but if you're serious about making games, hear me out. You're going to have to use whatever assets are available to you if art isn't really your strong suit. Remember, if you're an indie game developer, sure, you're gonna have to wear many hats, people say that all the time, but your primary job is still going to be the game designer or creator. So you're in charge of the concept creation, the core mechanics of the system, it's your idea. In other words, your main job is to determine how the game should work, and you need to focus on your strengths from there. So for myself, I like to dabble in some art stuff, but my strengths are as a programmer. But even when it comes to programming, I will be the first to buy an asset if it can do a more complicated job better and quicker than I can, because it saves time. Because remember, my priority is to get this game finished and to fulfill my overall vision. And I think that's the same mentality that you should apply to making your own games too. Don't waste time and play to your strengths. Use whatever is available to you. So I got some assets that I think match the exact art style I'm going for, and I spent some time creating a house with it, and I've got to say, I think I did a really good job here. Wait, who put that floor there? No, I'm kidding. See, I stole this house too, but I have to say, I really like the look of these houses. They're very nice. Now, before we continue, there's something extremely important that has been bugging me for ages. It's just been sitting in the background and no one noticed. I'd say it's time I finally fix it. What am I talking about, you may ask? Well, that light switch. But in all seriousness, you guys, I've been really happy to see all the feedback that I've been getting on the Tempered Flames development build. You guys have noticed a lot of bugs, and I put them all on my list, and I'm sure the list will grow, and I will not forget about it. Speaking of light switches, you know what light switches use? That's right, electricity. And you know what else uses electricity? The electricity ability in Tempered Flames. Last time I talked about how I wanted to put this ability into the game, but didn't really get the chance to. Part of the reason was because the electric texture I added didn't work on the door I had in the last video, because it did the UVs a little differently. So I tried it on this fork, which does actually have the UV layout necessary to get this to work. Sadly, I didn't get much use out of the electric ability just yet, but that is coming and it's high on the list. If you haven't seen my last devlog, you should probably check that out because I talk a bit more about how the electricity ability is supposed to work. Because emergent gameplay is so important to immersive sims, the electricity ability was supposed to go hand in hand with the enemy AI behavior. So I thought the best thing I could do next for you guys to enjoy would be to create some kind of enemy. But I didn't want to just make some gray capsules, so I did some more thievery and took a human model from the asset store. We're seeing a pattern here, right? In all seriousness, as I said before, it's all good to use assets. That's why they're there for. If you guys have any ideas how I can make sure to make them my own and create some unique visuals for the game, let me know down in the comments. I reply to every single one and pretty quickly too. Anyways, for now I tried my hand at modeling clothes for this enemy dude, which also included my first time ever texture painting. I know it's nowhere near perfect, and I think modeling I could potentially do, but texture painting is a bit out of my league. Hey, if this is something that you enjoy doing, feel free to leave a comment with tips, or even if you're interested in helping out with the project yourself. In the meantime, it was my mom's birthday this weekend, and I made her some cookies. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, feel free to leave a like, it really helps out. Alright, back to work. To get this enemy done, I knew I'd need to make some animations and they'd have to be much better than my temporary ones in my RPG game. So I learned a lot more about rigging and I'm really happy with the result of the skeleton that I ended up with. Oddly enough, these animations actually turned out much better and were a lot quicker and more fun to make. If you're interested in animating, I highly recommend you research inverse kinematics. It makes everything so much more fun and easy. But before continuing on with the animations, I promised I'd tell you guys more about the story of the game. I've outlined 7 complete levels for the game, which will probably be quite short, art and will serve as a perfect length for an indie game like this. If I can help it, I at least don't want to overscope with the levels, but I'll tell you more about that in later videos. For now, since I'm working on this enemy, I thought I'd showcase the Renegade faction. If you want to know more details about the story for now, check out the last video where I quickly go through it. So the Renegades descend from the original organizers of the revolution that overtook the kingdom and created the new empire. However, they saw that the man who was elected to lead the empire after the revolution, Consul Nea, was weak, so they ended up killing him too, but then they didn't like the next guy either, Consul Ceador. By then, the renegade leader, Marcus Rasosa, split from the original revolution and decided to take up leadership his own way. Rasosa is actually the leader of the opposition in parliament and secretly leads the renegades on the side. They see him as this great humble leader for the people, but in reality, he is a very wealthy politician who uses the movement to get his own way. If you guys can figure out a better name for the renegades, leave a comment with your idea. I could use some cool names. Alright everyone, unfortunately that's all the time I have for this week. Here's what the animations look like, all complete, but unfortunately there won't be any playable demos this time around. Hopefully by mid-June, I can release a playable demo with the enemy working, the electricity ability working, and the enemies working somewhat, and sword combat. If you want to see more devlogs like this one, hit that subscribe button and make sure the notification bell is turned on so that you don't miss an episode. I try to make these videos better and better for you guys each time, but in the meantime, I have tons of other devlogs on this channel, both about Tempered Flames and about other projects I've worked on that I think you guys will really enjoy. I really recommend the ones that me and my friend did for game jams. Those are a lot of fun to make and I think you guys will really enjoy them. Alright everyone, God bless and see you next time.